Skool, hey! Inside school, the winning begins, yeah.
You know that feeling, right? When an app is supposed to make life easier, but instead you're just sitting there tapping your screen wondering if it's crashed again.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've all been there.
Well, today on Inside School, we're diving into exactly that. We're looking at a really interesting community discussion where school users got honest about their experiences with the app on their phones.
Right, and these aren't like official reviews. This is straight from the users, the good, the bad, the laggy. It's a ground level view.
Exactly. Our mission here isn't just to list complaints or praises. It's to really understand what these experiences tell us about the app right now and maybe, look a bit beyond just the app itself.
See the bigger picture, maybe about mobile apps in general.
Precisely.
Come on inside to Inside School.
So the source was basically a forum thread, people just chiming in about the Skool app on their smartphones. All sorts of phones, different perspectives.
Which is great, gives us a real mix.
Okay, so let's get into it. The whole thing kicked off with a pretty simple question. How's the Skool app running for you? Smooth? Kind of clunky? What's the deal?
And right away, bang, a clear split. It was really noticeable.
Totally. First up, you had Mustafa Demir. He's on a pretty decent phone, an iPhone 14 Pro, latest software, and he described it as very, very slow.
Yeah, he wasn't mincing words, said loading times were bad everywhere, profiles, posts, DMs, just slow.
And he mentioned it wasn't like his other apps, and reinstalling didn't fix it either. That classic tech support move failed him.
And what stood out there was the consistency, right? It wasn't just one feature acting up. It was slow across the board for him. That points to something maybe more fundamental going on in his specific case.
But then almost immediately you get this counter-narrative. A whole bunch of people saying, actually, it's fine for me.
Right. Like Karsten Worrell, he's got an iPhone 16 Pro over in Spain, says it's smooth. Eleni Giuseppino on a Google Pixel 8, fine.
Yeah, and Claudia Widmeyer, Nina Edith Vinch with an iPhone 13, Horst Deckert on a 15 Pro Max, Stefan Budoweg even on an older iPhone 11.
Marcus Horning, iPhone 14, Moni K, using both an iPhone 15 Pro Max and an iPad. They were all generally saying, yeah, it's smooth, or at least, acceptable.
It's such a stark contrast, isn't it? Straight out of the gate, you immediately start wondering, okay, what's causing these wildly different experiences?
That's the million-dollar question in app development, I guess. How do you get something to work perfectly for everyone on every device, every OS version? It's complex. It's not just about the phone's power.
Definitely not. And as more people commented, you heard more about the slowness. Tolga Bayrak-Sever jumped in, saying they had similar issues to Mustafa, lagging, freezing on an S24, said it made the app kind of unpleasant.
Unpleasant to use. That's strong feedback.
Then Manuel Strathmeyer, iPhone 13, called his experience middling. Like, okay, but with hiccups sometimes.
Sort of on the fence.
Yeah. But then Yasmin Kaimak, she's got a new iPhone 15 Pro, and she strongly agreed about the slowness. But for her, it was worse. She actually couldn't reliably post or comment using the app.
Wow, okay. So that goes beyond just being slow. If you can't actually do the main things, like posting, that's a major problem. She tried reinstalling too, right?
She did, yeah. Didn't help. It really shows how bad it can be for some.
And it raises the stakes from inconvenience to, well, basically unusable for core functions.
Then Yannick Ada chimed in, mentioning a slight delay, but something they could live with.
Tolerable, okay.
But Mustafa jumped back in to clarify, and this detail is important. He said, for him, it wasn't just a slight delay. It was a consistent, 3-second lag every single click.
3 seconds. In app time, that's forever. Think about how quickly you expect things to happen on your phone. 3 seconds per tap would drive you crazy.
Totally. Tamara Sindel echoed that frustration, found it slow, cumbersome, even on a new phone with tons of storage. She basically said, forget the app, I'm using the desktop.
Which seems to be a common theme we'll get to.
And one more, Andreas Schmelzer reported this weird thing where he'd often just get a blank white screen when opening the app if he hadn't used it for a bit.
Like it struggles to wake up properly. All these little things, the slowness, the freezes, the white screens, they add up to a really fragmented picture, don't they?
They really do. Some people cruising along, others hitting serious roadblocks. That 3-second latency Mustafa mentioned, that's a real killer for user experience. It just breaks the flow completely.
So the natural question is it the phones? Is it the hardware?
Right. We saw iPhones from the 11 all the way up to a supposed 16 Pro.
Though iPhone 16 Pro isn't out yet, maybe a typo for 15 Pro or a beta user.
Ah, good point. Maybe a typo or early access. But still, a wide range. And Androids like the S24, the Pixel 8. But the performance reports are all over the place, not neatly tied to how new the phone is.
Exactly. Tolga even said they didn't think the phone itself was the main issue.
And Elena wondered if it was specific models. Someone suggested maybe it's iOS versus Android.
That's a classic suspect. But then Nadine Cabrera said things were good on her iPhone with iOS 18.3.2.
While Thomas Pfefferle had a smooth ride on an iPhone 13 Pro, but with iOS 17.5.1. So maybe the OS version is a factor?
It certainly could be. The interaction between the hardware, the specific OS version, and the app's code is super complex. You could have great hardware, but if the app isn't optimized for that specific OS update, or vice versa, you get problems.
It suggests the issue isn't just get a faster phone. It's potentially deeper in the software side, maybe how the app interacts with different iOS or Android versions.
Yeah, optimization challenges. Or maybe even some subtle incompatibilities creeping in with updates.
And it wasn't just about speed. People brought up specific functional bugs, things that were just broken.
Like Yasmin not being able to post or comment, that's huge.
Huge. And Frederick Grishka mentioned this annoyance where the app kept opening an old archived community for him first, just irritating.
Little friction points that wear you down.
And Sasha Ubler had this very specific issue with watching videos during marching rounds, like learning modules maybe. If they accidentally touched the screen, boom, video progress lost. Super frustrating.
Oh, that would be maddening.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to get through course content.
Then Christiane Mulder said the app would freeze when she tried to create a new post. So she just gave up and only posts from her laptop now.
See, again, it's forcing people away from the mobile app for core activities. These aren't just tiny bugs. They're actively stopping people from using the app as intended.
So how are people coping? What are the workarounds?
Well, the big one, as we hinted, is ditching the mobile app, at least for serious use.
Definitely. Tamara, Ariane Brandis, Yasmin, Burkhard Schneider. Lots of people explicitly said they prefer the desktop or Mac version.
The reasons varied a bit. Some said better user experience overall. Some liked having more screen space.
Others just wanted to avoid the mobile app's glitches or distractions. Ariane even said she consciously decided not to install the app at all.
And you had Rainer Bernhardt, who just generally uses his PC for most things anyway, so Skool fits into that.
It's interesting, isn't it? This strong preference for desktop. It kind of suggests the mobile app for many isn't quite delivering that seamless, reliable experience they expect on the go.
Yeah, it implies a gap. Maybe the mobile app is okay for quick checks, but for actually doing things, posting, engaging deeply, the desktop version feels more solid to these users. Bridging that gap seems like a key challenge for Skool.
Now, interestingly, it seems Skool support is aware, at least about the slowness. Mustafa, who started the thread, had apparently reported it.
Oh, what did they say?
He got a response acknowledging the slow loading times and saying they're planning significant improvements for the mobile app later this year.
Okay, so it's on their radar. That's something. Later this year is a bit vague, though.
Well, that was Yasemin's reaction, too. She basically said, that feels like a really long time to wait for fixes to fundamental problems, like being able to post reliably.
Yeah, I can see that. It's that classic tension, isn't it? Acknowledging an issue versus setting expectations for how quickly it can realistically be fixed, especially if it requires major work.
It also kicked off a mini debate in the comments about priorities. Yasemin felt they should focus on fixing core stuff like posting before adding smaller features like zooming into images.
The fundamentals first, basically.
Right, but then Calvin Hollywood chimed in, sort of reassuringly, saying the big things are planned, but they just take time to do right.
It's that balancing act again. Fixing bugs versus building new features, short-term pain relief versus long-term improvements. Every software team faces this. Yasemin's point about a solid foundation is really valid, though. Features don't mean much if the basics are shaky.
Definitely. But hey, it wasn't all doom and gloom. We should mention the positive experiences, too.
Absolutely. Like Elena Giuseppino, she seemed consistently happy with it on her Pixel 8, even using it on train journeys, which can be tricky connection-wise sometimes.
Yeah, she seemed to have no major issues. And Frederick Grishka, the one annoyed by the archived community bug, also shared a cool discovery.
Oh yeah? What was that?
He found he could watch YouTube videos embedded in Skool with his phone screen locked, even without having YouTube Premium.
Ah, that's actually a neat little workaround benefit. So yeah, even amidst the complaints, there are people finding the app useful and even discovering unexpected perks.
It shows the app does offer value, even if the performance isn't perfect for everyone.
So wrapping this up, this look inside Skool. What's the big picture?
I think the clearest takeaway is just how varied the user experience is with the Skool mobile app right now. It's really a tale of two apps, almost.
Yeah, you've got one group finding it smooth, efficient, works fine, and another significant group hitting real performance walls, slowness, lag, freezes, actual functional bugs.
And while the device and maybe the OS version seem to play a role, it's not a simple equation. The app itself just appears inconsistent across the board.
It really highlights the challenges of developing for mobile, doesn't it? That cross-platform consistency is tough, and users have high expectations these days.
It does make you think. How do your own app experiences set your expectations? You download a new app. What do you demand from it immediately?
And what trade-offs are you willing to make? Like, would you put up with some clunkiness for killer features, or do you just need it to be fast and reliable above all else?
Right. And when a platform built for community has such inconsistent mobile access, what does that mean for how those communities grow and function, especially as we rely more and more on our phones?
That's the thing to mull over, isn't it? In this mobile-first world, how crucial is that seamless mobile experience for the future of these kinds of platforms? It's an ongoing challenge, balancing the new stuff with just making sure the core thing works and works well for everyone.